This is a pre-Rugby Championship tournament dream team. Before a ball has been kicked, a minute has been played, if you had access to all 4 squads from South Africa, New Zealand, Australia and Argentina, who would make your dream team? I'm going to pick a 23-man squad that I am going to say pre-tournament would be my dream team. It'll be really interesting to look back at this and see what the actual team of the tournament is compared to this one. And it would be a miracle if we agreed. This is just a bit of fun. So please let me know what you think in the chat down below. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And this was an idea actually that came in from Fred Pistorius, a comment that he made on a video that I did yesterday. And so thank you, Fred, for the idea. It's a class one. And there you go. I know how good the audience that watches Egg Chasers is, and I thoroughly appreciate it. So get stuck in the chat down below. I don't believe there's going to be a great deal of disagreement in the number 1 jersey. I've gone for Ox and J. Not just the best loosehead prop in the world, one of the best rugby players and most influential players on a rugby pitch in world rugby. So he is number 1. Ethan de Groot, Tamaiti Williams would be pushing him close, and I do think the All Blacks whole front row unit, when you look at all the players that are in their squad, is pretty formidable. There's going to be a massive area of battle when it comes to those games in New Zealand and even in Argentina this weekend, with the All Blacks getting underway there. Number 2 jersey, and this was a tight one between, I mean, there's some really, really good players. When you look at Julian Montoya, coming towards the end of his career, but talismanic for Argentina. You look at Cody Taylor for New Zealand, who was probably the best hooker in the world in 2024. I've gone for Malcolm Marx. He's just elite, absolutely elite. And Bongi and Benambi just starting to fade, so I think the importance of Malcolm Marx is going up a level with South Africa as well. I've got him as my number 2. At number 3, a player who is not involved in the opening weekend, and I hope he's fit for later challenges in the Rugby Championship, Terrell Lomax. I've gone for him at 3. Obviously no Franz Maloba these days for South Africa. Taniela Tupu, can he put in the kind of performance he did for the British and Irish Lions against the Springboks in the game in Johannesburg and here in Cape Town next week? That'll be an interesting one to watch. So 2 Springboks and a New Zealander so far. Second row, I've got Ebenet Sabeth, and I've also gone for Will Skelton. Now I know that is 2 tight head locks. I recognise that, and I'm just, yeah, you know what? I'm just picking the players that I would pick first, and I'd pick the pair of them. I cannot wait to see them going head to head. Here in this team, I'm picking them together. And look, Will Skelton, he's been lacking a bit of rugby, so he may only be a 50-minute rugby player at the minute. But he can do things that very, very few people can. The Springbok stable of locks is insane. Guys like Pedro Rubiolo, one of the bright young stars coming through in world rugby. Fabian Holland looks to be the same for New Zealand, and Scott Barrett's no slouch either. But I've gone for these 2. As for the back row, and this is where, if I were picking a team, I'm less concerned about the fact that they're not out-and-out line-out experts and they're more big bosses in the row, because Pieter-Steph du Toit is in every day and twice on Sundays. I've got him as number 6. Obviously in South Africa he wears a 7. Argentina kind of do left and right, don't they? New Zealand and Australia have the blind side 6 and open side 7. So there you go, I've gone for Pieter-Steph du Toit, and I've gone for Pablo Matera. And with Ardie Savia in the back row, that is absolutely elite. Siya Kolisi's incredible. Fraser McCright's incredible. Harry Wilson's been superb. Joaquin Oviedo, one of the bright young rugby players in the world. He looks like an unreal number 8. Wallace Satiti the same, not available for New Zealand this week. Just an embarrassment of riches in this tournament in the back row position. It is wild. Marcos Kremer, Rob Valentini, so many awesome players. It was really, really hard. I've gone for PSDT, giving everyone PTSD, Pablo Matera and Ardie Savia. How much would you love to see those 3 playing together? I've got Cam Roigard at 9. I thought about Grant Williams, and in terms of absolute elite pace, Williams is rapid. Rapid. I was going to say could be an international winger, has been an international winger, but Cam Roigard looks to be, if you had to pick one player to have the heir, to be the heir to Antoine Dupont's throne as the best 9 in the world, then I think Cam Roigard's probably that guy. So I've gone for him alongside Hondre Pollard, who's not involved for the Springboks this week. May not be the 10 going forward for the Boks. Maybe it is going to be Marnie Libok. Thomas Albanose is amazing. Beauden Barrett is just a ledge. There's something about Hondre Pollard. If there was a World Cup this weekend, I'd pick him. He's the Iceman. So I've gone for him. In the centres, that Springbok combination as well of Diolende and Creel. Geordie Barrett was close. Santiago Chocobares was close. Lenny Kitau and Joseph Suali'i. Lovely little partnership blossoming between those two. But in terms of partnerships, the one that's proven itself over the last 2 World Cup cycles is these two. And Jesse Creel, muscle tone of a chimp, might be the most underrated player in world rugby because he plays basically every minute of every match for the Boks. That's what Rassie Erasmus thinks about him when he's chopping and changing every player. The one consistent that he keeps the same as much as he possibly can is Jesse Creel, and you notice him when he's not there, and whether it's in attack, he's deceptively quick, or whether it's in defence where he is amazing. I just think he's so important. On the wings, one of the scrum cap wearing Power Rangers in Cheslin Colby. I've gone for Will Jordan on the other wing. I know Will Jordan is playing as a fullback. I like Will Jordan on the wing, I'm going to say. I think that's where I've seen him play best, so I've gone for him on the right wing. I've gone for Tom Wright at fullback, who I think, Apaleli Fassi is class. Juan Cruz Malia is immense. Will Jordan could have been there, and take your pick of the New Zealand wingers. They're all really good, but I think Tom Wright's been the best fullback in the world in the last year or so. He's been absolutely exceptional. So I've just gone for Tom Wright, and that is the 15 that I'm going with. On the bench, Cody Taylor, Tamaiti Williams, Wilco Lowe. So again, the front row is pretty much dominated by New Zealand and South Africa. Wallace Satiti and Joaquin Oviedo are the forwards I've got on the bench. And again, that's because I think I can shift Peter Steph du Toit to second row if I needed to. Grant Williams on the bench as scrum half, Thomas Albanose and Geordie Barrett to complete my 23, meaning there are 8 South Africans in the starting lineup and 10 in total, 4 New Zealanders in the starting lineup and 8 in the squad, 1 Argentinian starting, 3 in the squad, and 2 Australians who both make the starting lineup. Probably tells you a little something about the balance of power going into this tournament, but like I say, this is a dream team that I'm picking before a ball has been kicked and a try has been scored, and certainly a few of the players I'm picking aren't even in the teams for this weekend. So we will see what happens over the tournament, what changes, and I'll obviously be picking a team of the tournament, a team of the round and then a team of the tournament come the end of it. So it'll be really interesting, I thought, to see how that team compares with the one that I've just picked. I know you'll let me know what you think, and pick yours. Leave it in the chat down below, and let the comments flow, and I will see you on the next one.